assemblies in the world. The history here is well known, but you're carrying it on in such an exemplary way and representing the sampradaya with great enthusiasm and Vaishnava etiquette and great brilliance. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you today. Today we're having an initiation ceremony, so the topic that I'll start with will be about that. And to begin, I'll sing the first couple of lines from a song from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. As initiation is a time of awakening, and in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song Jiv Jago, he sings of a very sober topic, or sobering topic, or both, and that is that we've been sleeping in a, as he says, on the lap of the witch called Maya, as if a child runs away from home thinking he or she'll find independence and ends up with wicked foster parents who abuse the child. And Krishna has come to save us from this horrible condition in the world, calling out to us in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please wake up. But he doesn't just say please wake up, he gives us the ways and means to wake up. He sends his representatives and he forms the Sankirtan movement through which we can be revived just by hearing the loud chanting of the holy names. With my congratulations to all those who've come here to take initiation today. Are you in too? Because it is a heartfelt ceremony, but it's also one that changes the world. We just drove here from somewhere. I don't know where it was. Stanmore. And we came through many neighborhoods and we noticed that people are oblivious to the regulative principles. What to speak of chanting Hare Krishna? We admonished a few people on the way for smoking. Although from the car, we didn't tell them directly. It seems so out of place when we're on our way to an initiation in this blissful atmosphere that people are still carrying on out there as if there's not a care in the world for them. There's no consideration of the importance of the human form of life. So all of you who are seated here for initiation have come to this profound realization that human life is meant for surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and freeing oneself from the tyranny of the senses by handing them over to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His service. So congratulations to all of you. In the spiritual world, all the so-called inanimate objects are animate. It has a voice of its own. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Kṛṣṇaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Sheshashamurari Paschata Deshatanya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today, would you like to come in and sit down? We have plenty of room. You all can move a little closer here. And if you see any space, you can move a little. There's plenty of room here. So, this is a Harinam initiation. In the process of initiation, there's various steps. The first one is called tapa, which is to acknowledge that the material world is no longer my home. And after tapa comes pandra, which means to show externally that one is a Vaishnav. Urdhva pundra, wearing tilak and so forth. And then comes nama, which means taking a new name. Das or dasi, a coveted name. Anybody who can get one of those names is in the best position one can be in this material world, or anywhere else for that matter, to be aligned in service with Krishna. After that, there comes mantra, because after Harinam initiation, there's another initiation called Diksha, in which one accepts the Gayatri mantra and 6 other mantras, which are to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, especially in doing deity worship, which is one of the 5 most important activities out of 64. And in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings to Sanatana Goswami, he said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are all his small parts. He told this to Sanatana Goswami, who, although a great scholar, had come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with a very simple question, which was, who am I? And what is the purpose of my life? To which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you're an eternal servant of Krishna, who's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you get that part right, then everything else will fall into place. Because spiritual life is very simple. It simply means to surrender to Krishna. Because when we act independently and try to own or control the material world, or claim that we're something that we're not, and life becomes troublesome. And the simple admission that I am an eternal servant of Krishna, and my main purpose in life is to serve Krishna, and everything that I have belongs to Krishna, including this body and senses. And in the Sri Upanishad, the first mantra says that everything in the world is controlled and owned by the Lord. Ishavasyam idang sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita madhudha kasisuddhanam. Everything animate or inanimate within this universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for oneself, which are set aside as one's quota. Jai Shri Shri Radha Ki Jai. And this takes a great burden off us, because it's very difficult to manage the material energy. It's always going a different direction than we'd like it to. And when we see everything in the world as paraphernalia to be used in Krishna service, then our life becomes fruitful. And we see everything in a potential state. Whatever we see in this world, we see it can be engaged in Krishna service. And especially important is seeing that every soul in this world has potential to serve Krishna. Their love is only dormant. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's very specific focus was to empower those who are sincere souls and have come through an evolution of consciousness to the point of desiring surrender and a lifetime of dedication and service, to deputize such persons in his service through the Sri Guru Parampara to help awaken others. And this gives one a full-time schedule, because there's lots of souls. For instance, here in London, we noticed there's a lot of souls here. And each one of them has a potential to awaken to their nature as a servant of Krishna. And there's various ways that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced to his followers that could be done, specifically by chanting Hare Krishna. And the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is the pinnacle of practices. Throughout all the Vedas, there are many practices which are meant for purifying oneself, for overcoming obstacles. And there's a large body of knowledge that one can look into to organize one's life and to improve one's life. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simplified everything. And one of his chief followers, Rupa Goswami, says, Akila Shuti Mali Ratnamala Duti Nirajita Pada Pankajang I Mukta Kalera Pasimanu Harinama Shamshrayami. I surrender to the holy name. Rupa Goswami says that if you go through all the Shrutis, in fact he puts it in a metaphorical way that the Shrutis are personified. Actually, that's not metaphorical, they actually are. You'll read in the 87th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā that all the main Shrutis are Bhagavatam. 87th chapter of the Bhagavatam. Did I say Bhagavad-gītā? Yeah. Then the Shrutis are speaking for themselves. And Rupa Goswami gives this conclusion of their discussion, and that is that if you look everywhere in the Vedas, Akila Shruti Mali Ratnamala, you'll find that the crown jewels are the Upanishads. And those Upanishads have an effulgence. And the effulgence is shining a light on the tips of the toes of the holy name of the Lord, pointing out that of all the practices throughout the Vedic process, throughout the Vedic literature, then the ultimate practice is the chanting of the names of God. And this chanting of Hare Krishna says Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is very far away from the very terse utterings of the Upanishads, which talk about our nature as Brahman, separate from the body, and so forth. He said, by chanting Hare Krishna, you actually have direct contact with Krishna, so much so that when you perfect your chanting, your hair will stand on end and tears will come from your eyes, because that dormant love for Krishna within the heart will awaken just by chanting. Prabhupada has described that there's 3 stages in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, which is the ultimate practice. The first stage is a stage that he compares to looking at stages of a mango. First, when the mango is unripe, it doesn't taste very good. And when you first start to chant in the stage called Namaparadha, when there's still some obstacles to chanting in our attitude, then the chanting may not be sweet. But as we continue, then the second stage Prabhupada calls the clearing stage. And this is also called Namabhasa. And this is the stage where there's no offenses. You're chanting without offense because you're trying to avoid the offenses. And in this stage, you become liberated. Brahma bhuta prasanatma na shochati na kankshati samak sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. From the point of liberation, one is free to come into the practice of bhakti full-heartedly. And in that clearing stage, compared to a mango, the chanting becomes sweet. And as one continues to chant, then it becomes sweeter, and then it becomes the sweetest. And that's the third stage, called chanting in pure love for God. Simplified, Prabhupada gives simplified process. 3 stages. So to achieve this progressive advancement in chanting Hare Krishna, it's important to have the right attitude. The attitude for chanting that is perfectly placed starts with an understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Means that you have permission, especially upon your acquiescing to initiation, to give your full attention just to Krishna. Because although it seems like we have many obligations in this world, and it seems like there's other entities who might be able to help us, ultimately only Krishna can help us. He's Mukunda. He's the liberator. Therefore, Karabhajana Muni says, Devarshi bhutatma nrinam pitranam nikinkoro nayam nrnicharajan saravatmada ya sharanam sharanyam kato mukundam parishrita kartam. And that is that we are born with many debts. And as debtors, we have to work very hard in this world to pay them off. But the tragic nature of that is that we never quite are able to pay off the debts we owe. Because even as we're working in this world to pay off our debts, we create more debt, otherwise known as karma. So much that the karma is stored up, waiting for us in our next life. Just like people who live in a house, they don't have enough space for things, so they get a storage locker. And then there's not enough in one storage space for all their stuff in one storage locker, so then they get another. And after a while, they have so much stuff they can't even conceive of how to get rid of it. So that's our nature karmically. And to try to get rid of karma, overcome the debt, will not be possible in any lifetime unless one surrenders to Krishna. Would you like a chair? Get her a chair. No? Sure. So the verse says that in one fell swoop, by surrendering to Krishna. By what? By what?
Surrendering.
Correct. Then he'll take care of us. He says in the Bhagavad-gītā, Sarva dharman parityaja. Since we know each other so well, we're like a family here. You finish my sentences for me. Sarva dharman parityaja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. This is a profound verse. Jiva Goswami says, Vaishnavas meditate on this verse constantly because they remember how kind Krishna is. That he's extending himself to us, giving us an opportunity to leave behind the illusory idea that I'll be happy in this world. And it's misery from beginning to end. The endeavor, the attainment of so-called goals in the material world just leads to more misery. And any remedies we take, as Prahlad Maharaj says in his prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, are more miserable than the disease itself. You have a disease and you get a diagnosis and they say, here's the curative. And they say, I got to take that stuff? You say, yeah, it seems worse than the actual disease. So we're really in a pickle here. And there's a way in which Krishna absolves us of all that if we just come back to our happy life. Happy life means, Krishna, I'm yours. I'm your servant. So the meaning of chanting Hare Krishna is very profound. It means that you've come to the pinnacle of understanding that my life is meant for Krishna. And everything I do is to be used in his service, dedicated to him. And so when you chant Hare Krishna, you can take full shelter of Krishna and just say, Krishna, I am a lost soul. I'm not liberated. I have nothing in this world. I'm the runt of the litter. I've been left behind, abandoned. I'm freezing by the roadside in the middle of nowhere, and I have nobody else but you. Please, please engage me in your service. And Krishna is so kind that in our forlorn, lost situation, he'll be there. In fact, he's always been there for us. And there's a recognition that he's there for us. And when we call out to him, then immediately we'll feel satisfaction in our heart. All the disappointments we've had in this world, all the tenuous situations trying to hold on to things that we know we can't hold on to, will be assuaged from our fears, from our false hopes that are nagging at us, giving us a sense of cognitive dissonance at every moment of our lives, even when we're dreaming. It will be dried up. Our tears will dry up. In fact, the Bhagavatam says that in this universe, there's an ocean that is made out of the tears of the living entities in this world who are weeping. Weeping because they've missed the point of life and they're empty without Krishna. In the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we found just the other night a statement that the pain of living without Krishna, the living entity feels so empty. That emptiness is so painful, it's worse than death and hell. And the chanting of Hare Krishna fills us up and brings us back to our home. Home is where the heart is. And when we put our heart into chanting Hare Krishna, saying, Krishna, I'm yours. Please engage me in your service whatever way you like, no other consideration. Then we naturally feel happy. So this is the greatest gift that you're getting, is this opportunity through the disciplic session by Prabhupada's mercy to show us the way that we can join in with the great souls and follow in their footsteps, which is the path to success. The Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami says, Bejare muneo tagre bhagavantam adoksajam saptam vishudam shemaya. Go ahead. Kalpante yena taniha. Gotta be loud. So that means that the great souls have already set the path for us by showing that life is exclusively meant for worshiping Krishna. And Sutta goes on to say, you may not be a great soul. You may be a so-called ordinary person in this world. Your stature may not be notable. But if you decide to follow in the footsteps of these sages, which you're doing today, this initiation means that you're signing up for that. Saying, for the material world, no mas. That's it. I'm opting out. There's a little form you can fill out, in fact. You can fill it out online, digitally, or they'll give you the paper. You can sign it. When doesn't that feel good? So I opt out. Check the box, sign your name, hand it in, that's it. That's what you're doing today. And when you follow the footsteps of the great sages, say, only Krishna, all for Krishna. I'm all in for Krishna, I'm all out for the idea that I'm going to be happy in the material world. That's it. Finished. Done. No mas. Out. Then you're eligible for the same result as the greatest of sages. Kalpante yena means you get what they got, because you're following their footsteps. Even if you feel feeble in your attempt, you will attain the highest perfection. So if you take this attitude that Krishna, I'm yours, there's nothing else but you, then you'll never make an offense. Also, never feel entitled. Entitlement is a dangerous attitude. If you feel it creeping in, then go somewhere and get some remedial measure to overcome entitlement, because it can creep in and you might not even know that you have it. If somebody notices it in you and mentions that you seem entitled, like you feel entitled, then be afraid. What should you be? Actually, I'm going to modify that. Be very afraid. Be afraid of entitlement and feel that I'm not entitled to anything. And you may notice that it's natural, your senses feel entitled. Have you ever noticed that? If you see a cupcake, your tongue may say, that's for me, that's mine. And you can say, no, that's not your cupcake. That's Krishna's cupcake. First you offer to Krishna, then you can have a little bit. Don't be entitled. And be sincere. Just be sincere. Don't think you have to perform a trick. This is not a circus act. It is not something to show that I'm something or somebody. Have nothing except your own sincerity. Just come down to that essence. Bottle it. If you can find it inside you, put it in a little bottle, and every day take a little drop of that. And remember, you just need sincerity. Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā, teṣāṁ satata-yuktānāṁ, bhajatāṁ prīti-pūrvakam, dadāmi buddhi-yogaṁ. Yena. He's there for us, just as long as we're sincere and He knows what our heart is. And if we're sincere, don't try to have a pretense that I'm more than I am. You don't have to do that. It's not important. Nobody cares anyway. Everyone's concerned with their own stature and how they look, and everyone looked in the mirror this morning at one time or another and thought, how am I going to come off in the world? You don't have to worry about that, except for as being a representative of Krishna. But for ourselves, we can remain a Kṛṣṇa, Queen Kunti said. Don't get caught up with the designations of wealth or beauty or intelligence. Don't try to perform as like a circus animal. Just be a sincere devotee of Krishna. And don't even try to be a great devotee. Just try to be a good devotee. And if we just try to be good and put together one lifetime of dedication to Krishna, just one lifetime, that's it. And for some of us, a lot of it's already used up. So you don't have that far to go in geological comparison, due to comparison to geological time. Otherwise you have long lives, all of you. And use that time span, that lifespan that you have left. And if anybody asks, what are you? Just say, I'm a devotee of Lord Krishna. That's it. And whatever there is available, I'll do that in service. And I'll take a little prasadam. And I'll just have a little place to lie down, to rest. Why? So I can get up and do more service. And a little prasad, little service, little place to lie down. If we have simple needs, not that you have to move into the brahmacharya ashram, everyone has their quota of where we are now, but keep life very simple. And finally, in chanting Hare Krishna, the main technique is to be very present while chanting. It's remarkable how our attention is our main superpower. In fact, it's the fulcrum of our power to move wherever we want or to achieve whatever we want. Wherever we point our attention, that's where we're going to go. And while we're chanting Hare Krishna, our main duty is to use our free will to be aware that we're chanting and to be aware that Krishna and His name are non-different and that He's personally present for us in the chanting Hare Krishna. And that way you'll have success in chanting. And finally, I think I said that a moment ago, be very respectful of other living beings. Don't offend others. Don't condescend to others. consider yourself a servant. And when it comes to the association of devotees, follow Vaishnava etiquette. When a senior devotee comes into the room, you should stand up. Otherwise your life heirs will crush you. And you should offer respects to those who are advanced in devotional service, which means that they've taken initiation. Be very respectful to the devotees. And be careful about criticizing devotees unless you have something positive to add to whatever you think needs fixing, and the correct attitude in presenting it to people. You may cause some dissension, and it may affect your chanting. If you have a mood of finding everybody else's faults, you may not have enough time to find your own. And it's a full-time occupation to find one's own faults and try to work on them internally. If you do that, then you'll be fully employed for the rest of your life. So what we're going to do is to call each one of you to come up one at a time, and we will then ask you to make your vows. And once you make your vows, then we will give you your beads, and we will also give you a new name. And Nirkula Devi Dasi, who is in every yajna there's a person who does the officiating, and then there's a referee to make sure the person does it right. And she just pointed out that now is the time to put on the neck beads. And Madhasachi Devi Dasi, we're so glad to have you seated here today in the yajna. You were initiated in Harinam not long ago by His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami, but sitting in for the yajna today. Please welcome him. That's it? Pitter patter? No pitter patter. Thunder. Thunder. You sure it's not something else? Hare Krishna. So, please note that these devotees are accepting neck beads.
Are you sitting in the yajna?
Yes, I just said that. Just so offering grains. Not that there's a hierarchy, it's just that she wants to throw the grains. Oh, you can throw grains too also. Everyone should be up front. There's plenty of room for everybody. So putting on neck beads is part of... Now we're going to perform Achman, and that means that you can grasp the spoon from that Achman cup that's nearby you in your left hand, and then first I'll say a mantra, and then you can repeat after me, then we'll carry on with that. Om apavitra pavitrova sarvavasta gatopiva yasmare undarikaksham sabhaya abhyantara shuchihi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Spoon in left hand, put drops in right hand, and while the water's in your hand, say Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Sip water. 3 more drops in right hand. Om Narayanaye Namaha. Om Narayanaye Namaha. Sip. 3rd time. 3 drops. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. And sip. Thank you. So this mantra means whatever state you're in now, pure or impure, when you remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you become pure inwardly and outwardly. everything becomes purified. The main goal of Krishna consciousness is to remember Krishna. There are many rules and regulations in the Vedas, in fact so many that you couldn't even recite them in one lifetime or 10 lifetimes. There's so many. But they're boiled down to 2 rules, and they are: 1, always remember Krishna. Repeat after me.
Always remember Krishna.
Second is, never forget Krishna.
Never forget Krishna.
Thank you very much. And now we'll say a few verses from the Sri Brahma Samhita, as Prabhupada liked to have this at initiations. So we'll go from Ishvara Parama Krishna to Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu to Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, since we have several initiates and we want to observe the time. There's a bucket of... Okay. First, we'll call up Bhakti Victoria. Kusha and Asan. Asan Kusha. Asana. Put that. Somebody put for her. Here. We should have an honorable seat for those who are making their vows. Sit on the asan, please. So we have an audio that we're going to play from Ishta Charanani Mataji, and text message from Shraddha Devi Dasi.
I have audio message.
Yeah.
He's my friend. She's a disciple of. She's disciple of Chaitanya Chandracharan Maharaj, and she sent a message.
Is that microphone on or not? It's not on. Let me see. We need tech support in here. It's very low. We need to turn it up. Otherwise, there you go. Okay, go.
I know Mataji Victoria is very supportive, very open-hearted, with very warm heart, who wants always help and support, who always meditate on serving devotees and serving Krishna, always wants to serve devotees of Krishna. And very with big loving heart. And we all love Mataji Victoria and wish her the best in her spiritual path and in her helping mission of her Guru Maharaj.
And where's the message from Shraddha? You have it? Okay, give Vrindari Kurumai the mic.
So, here is the message from Shraddha Mataji. I first met Bhakti Victoria during the ISV Yatra to Jagannath Puri in 2023. At the time, she was traveling across India and joined our group for a few days. What immediately stood out to me was her deep yearning to receive the association of Guru Maharaj and Guru Ma, along with the seriousness, intensity and sincerity she brought to every moment of the yatra. After the yatra, our conversation shifted toward preparing for initiation, and I once again witnessed that same wholehearted dedication and focus. Over the past year, Victoria has been serving steadily by helping with video editing for Guru Maharaj, quietly and consistently offering her skills in devotion. Today, as she receives Harinam initiation, my heart is filled with joy. I sincerely pray to their lordships that she continues to make exponential progress on her spiritual journey.
Bhakti and Victoria, please tell us your vows.
Guru Maharaj, I promise that in my life will not be any gambling.
More volume, please, for the blue mic. Nothing you have to do. Okay, go.
Hare Krishna, I promise that in my life will not be any gambling, no alcohol or intoxication or drugs. I promise that it will be no any illicit sex, and I will not eat never meat, eggs, fish, and whatever. Garlic, onion, I hate them. It's easy. And I promise to chant 16 rounds. I will try to do it attentively, at least 16 rounds. I hope so. Thank you very much
Every
for
day.
your mercy. Every day, yes. Every day.
Thank you very much. Bhakti Victoria, following the eternal principle of parampara, taking Srila Prabhupada's and Lord Chaitanya's order to expand the Sankirtan movement as my life and soul, and depending on their mercy, the mercy of the previous acharyas, and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desire trees, I'm exceedingly pleased to accept you as my disciple, and therefore a grand disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and a member of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. May all of the previous acharyas and the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, shower you with their grace. We have a certificate for each one of the initiates, and your name is from one of the famous devotees from the Srimad Bhagavatam. I joyfully give you the name Vaidarbhi Devi Dasi. Somebody can hold the certificates. Yeah, Madhuri Saki will hold all of them because you're going to be engaged in throwing things. We'll keep track. Now we call Bhakta Arvind Priyakund Prabhu. Yes, there he is. Please pass the mic.
Hare Krishna. I'd just like to say what a complete honor and privilege
Keep
it
that
is
close.
to be here today. In the assembly of such wonderful Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada's here, and of course Vaisesika Prabhu, and Nirukula Mataji, Bhagavata Shara Prabhu, and Sadha Mangala Mataji. Means so much to the devotees, thank you. Would it be appropriate to speak about Arvind and me now together, because they're very much a team?
Yes.
Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay. So Arvind and me now came to us in 2020. I think 2020 has a significance for us all because it was COVID, was it not? So the positive thing about COVID was that we were pushed into doing online programs, which we're still doing to this day. So we were broadcasting the morning programs on Zoom, class and reading from Srila Prabhupada's books. So Arvind and Meenal came on board then. And then when we eventually met them face to face for the first time, then there was a deep sense of meeting old friends. It was very profound. So since then, they've been chanting 16 rounds and following Srila Prabhupada's wonderful program since 2020. Arvind is a very expert organizer. He runs his own business, very happy and a people person. When Shamagori and I are away from the Avalanche in Folkestone, they head up the preaching there for us and make sure the Sunday feast programs continue and the other programs. Meenal is a very talkative, very happy personality. She has this amazing ability to hold a conversation with a big smile on her face constantly. She's got very dearly valued devotees. Arvind and Meenal have a devotee family. Their eldest son, Shane, is in the Cardiff temple under Tarakanath Prabhu. is in the contemporary Vedic ashram and aspiring for the Brahmachari ashram. Shane's here somewhere.
Behind you.
Her middle daughter, Yena, has a wonderful service attitude. Tiana's there.
Thank you, Kṛṣṇa.
She's always the first one to put her hand up when I ask that very deep question on Sunday, who would like to help serve the Sunday feast? And her arm goes straight into the air. And they have a young daughter who's nearly 3, Sundari, and they both went to Mayapur for the first time this year. Did you fall in love with Mayapur, Tiana? Yes. So a wonderful devotee family, and Sham and I are very, very proud of you both, and we look forward to you going forward very strongly in your Krishna consciousness. Now you've taken this commitment with Vaisesika Dasa and Nirikula Mataji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, and to you and your wife. The service you're doing is invaluable, giving this nurture and a space where sincere souls can come in and take full shelter of the process of Krishna consciousness. It couldn't be a higher service that you're doing. Thank you very much to you and your wife. Hare Krishna. Dr. Arvind, please tell us the vows you've come here to take today.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I vow to chant a minimum of 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra daily. I also vow to no meat eating, including fish and eggs, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling.
Thank you. Dr. Arvind, following the eternal principle of parampara, taking Srila Prabhupada's and Lord Chaitanya's order to expand the Sankirtan movement as my life and soul, and depending on their mercy, the mercy of the previous acharyas, and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desired trees. I am exceedingly pleased to accept you as my disciple, and therefore grand disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and a member of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. May all the previous acharyas and the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, shower you with their grace. Yours is also a name from the Srimad Bhagavatam, in one of Prabhupada's purports in the 3rd canto. And the name refers to a pure devotee of the Lord. So I very joyfully award you the name Anaga Suri Das. Bhaktin Mino. Shamgori. Okay. Shamgori, where are you?
I really wasn't prepared for this.
Oh, the name's here.
But yeah.
That's even better.
But what I would say about Mina is that she's a very pure-hearted person, and we are very, very happy that she's with us, and if any way we can assist in her path back to Godhead, that's our privilege. So, yes.
Please tell us your vows.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj and Guru Ma. I vow today to chant a minimum of 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily. I also vow to follow the 4 related principles of freedom, namely no meat eating, including fish and eggs, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex.
Thank you very much. Oh, go ahead. And you said 16 rounds. Bhaktin Mino, following the eternal principle of parampara, taking Srila Prabhupada's and Lord Chaitanya's order to expand the Sankirtan movement as my life and soul, and depending on their mercy, the mercy of the previous acharyas, and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desire trees. I'm exceedingly pleased to accept you as my disciple, and therefore a grand disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and a member of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. May all of the previous acharyas and the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, shower you with their grace. Hare Krishna. Your name comes from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it refers to one of the wives of Anakadundubi, Vasudeva. I very joyfully award you the name Madhira Devi Dasi. Geraldine. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Priya Kuni.
Hare Krishna. So Geraldine came to us at the Atma Lounge 2019, I believe. So at that time she'd been running a vegetarian cafe for over 20 years, just 5 miles from the Atma Lounge in Folkestone. She lost a partner at that point. Barry left her body, so she was in a grieving condition, quite distraught. She found her way to the Atma Lounge. We have a gift shop on the ground floor and a nice meditation garden behind the shop, so she found some peace there with, I believe, her sister Jenny at the time. Came back into the shop and spoke with Shamagori, and that usually does the trick. So, yeah, then we went into COVID. The cafe was closed, and the big positive about that was it gave Geraldine the opportunity to really focus on her sadhana, and she's addicted to morning programs, never misses. And yeah, once the cafe opened, then we took to task the cafe and Krishnaized the cafe. It's now called Cafe Atma. So Bishadam's going out and it's bucket load every day there through Geraldine's service. And yeah, she has a program where anybody that comes to the counter and says Gauranga, then they get a free Gauranga cookie.
Gauranga! There's a truck outside.
And even though she's very busy with the cafe, whenever we have the book table at the end of each month, she always arranges cover at the cafe and comes out on books. She was out more than anybody in the last marathon because the cafe closes in December. And as with Arvind and Meenal also, they have a deep taste for reading and discussing Srila Prabhupada's books. So proud of you. Thank you for being part of the family. Hare Krishna.
Attain Geraldine, please tell us your vows.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, dear Guru Maharaj. I vow to chant a minimum of 16 rounds every day for the rest of my life. And I also vow to follow the 4 regulatory principles of freedom. No illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxication of any description. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Bhaktin Geraldine, following the eternal principle of parampara, taking Srila Prabhupada's and Lord Chaitanya's order to expand the Sankirtan movement as my life and soul, and depending on their mercy, the mercy of the previous acharyas, and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desire trees, I'm exceedingly pleased to accept you as my disciple, and therefore a grand disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and a member of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. May all of the previous acharyas and the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, shower you with their grace. Your name is one of the names of one of the 64 most important gopis, and it means one who always protects from all dangers. I very joyfully award you the name Guna Chuda Devi Dasi. Casey, please. Okay, we'll pass you the mic.
Get your mic.
Oh, don't worry, I can speak now. Hare Krishna, thank you for letting me speak. I'd just like to thank Imogen.
Is the mic on?
I'd like to thank Imogen for her
Turn the mic on. Turn it on.
You have to speak closer to the mic. Closer. Your mouth is
Hare Krishna.
There you go.
Yeah,
Wow.
thank you for letting me speak. I'd like to thank Imogen for her wonderful association. We're lucky enough to serve the servants of Sri Panchatattva in Swansea Temple. Everyone loves Imogen. It's easy to speak about her because she's such a beautiful person, inside and out. She does beautiful kirtans, and she can give a really wonderful, heartfelt talk. And Imogen and her husband here, Padma, at our outreach on Tuesday evenings. If those two are there, you know everything's sorted. You know every service will be covered. If those two are there, you don't have to worry, yeah? I'd like to say on behalf of Imogen's mom and sister who couldn't be here today. Hare Krishna. How much we love you, Imogen, and all the Warshatra. And we wish you the very best. And we pray that you will forever serve at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Imogen.
Imogen, please tell us your vows.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj and Guru Ma. I vow to chant a minimum of 16 rounds of Maha Mantra daily. I also vow to follow the 4 regulative principles of no meat eating, including fish and eggs, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex.
Thank you very much. Bhakti Imogen, following the eternal principle of parampara, taking Srila Prabhupada's and Lord Chaitanya's order to expand the Sankirtan movement as my life and soul, and depending on their mercy, the mercy of the previous acharyas, and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desire trees, I'm exceedingly pleased to accept you as my disciple, and therefore a grand disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and a member of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. May all of the previous acharyas and the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, shower you with their grace. Yours is a name of Srimati Radharani. It comes from the Radha Rasa Sudhaniti, and you can read a little bit about it in this certificate. I very joyfully award you the name Kishori Mani Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I lied a little bit about the order. As I do, there would be home field advantage here. Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So personally I wanted to express my deep gratitude for having Mother Nirakul, Mother Saramangala, Bhagavad Shai Prabhu, and yourself, Vaisesika Prabhu, blessing this temple and creating such a beautiful atmosphere on this special day. So welcome you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It is truly also a great honor for myself, and it's been a great privilege to see Bhakti Matteo grow up in Krishna consciousness. In 2021, he was discovered on top of a mountain in Eastbourne on one of the seven sisters. We were on a padayatra walk. It was during COVID time, but there was a brief break in the lockdown. And so we did a one-day walk over the hills of the seven sisters, the White Cliffs of Eastbourne. And perched on top of one of those mountains was Matteo. He had a backpack and a bicycle and a tent, and he was out trying to discover a meaning to life.
Wow.
We came up with the Harinam, and we made acquaintance. And quickly he was invited to join a Studio 108 program in London, and we became friends. That was 4 years ago. And he's grown so much. He's a powerful planner. He's a masterful reciter of shlokas. Following your example, he's taught me how to memorize whole chapters of Bhagavad-gītā. Under his leadership, the Sankirtan department has seen unparalleled success, not just increasing by 20%, but tripling in his first year. Sorry, just a little bit more. Not only has he got great leadership qualities, but he's got the softest of hearts. So that firmness is tapered by that kindness that he exhibits daily, which any of the brahmacharis can tell you, because he's also the ashram leader as well as being the Sankirtan leader. And he's a person of high integrity. He's a very honest, truthful person. And he's a great example of a devotee. So we're very proud of Matteo, and we're very excited to hear his new name. And so I think that's enough from me. So thank you so much.
Bhakti Matteo, please tell us your vows.
Dear Guru Maharaj, dear Guru Ma, today I vow for the rest of my life to chant 16 rounds of the Maha Mantra every day and to follow the 4 regulatory principles, which means I will abstain from intoxicants, I will abstain from illicit sex, gambling, and eating of meat.
Thank you very much.
Hare
Krishna. Bhakti Matteo, following the eternal principle of parampara, taking Srila Prabhupada's and Lord Chaitanya's order to expand the Sankirtan movement as my life and soul, and depending on their mercy, the mercy of the previous acharyas, and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desire trees, I am exceedingly pleased to accept you as my disciple, and therefore a grand disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and a member of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. May all the previous acharyas and the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, shower you with their grace. Your name refers to, in part, a district, one of my favorite districts in the world. And it's a name that is lauded in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita and the Brihad Bhagavatamrita as being very, very auspicious. I very joyfully award you the name Mathura Kripa Das. So there's, two devotees who are sitting in on the yajna today, right? Yes. And how do I say your name?
Sashi Tripti.
Shachi Tripti.
Tripti Sashi.
Tripti Sachi Devidasi is also sitting in. A very warm welcome, and considered a great privilege to do a little service for His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj. We already said her.
Oh, you said
Yes.
her.
Yes.
Okay.
We invited her earlier to both of these. And we will start the fire ceremony forthwith. I'm just going to change into a chatter and I'll be right back. I would like, before performing this yajna with great happiness, to acknowledge the presence of my dear Godbrother Bhagavad-Ashraya Prabhu, who's become my dearest friend in this world. Thank you very much for being here. And his illustrious and very famous wife, Sarvamangala Devi Dasa. Please chant Hare Krishna. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Sabana bhavatu, sabana bhunaktu, sahaviryam avahai, tejasvinam adhitam astu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Swastino Govinda Swastino Chutananto Swastino Vasadeva Vishnu Dharatu Swastino Narayano Narovai Swastino Padmarava Purushottam Dharatu Swastino Vishvakshena Vishveshwaraha Swastino Rishikesho Harir Dharatu Swastino Vaina Tayo Harihi Swastino Ananjana Suto Hanur Bhagavatu Dharatu Swasti Swasti Sumangalai Kesho Mahan Shri Krishna Sakchit Anandana Ganaha Sarveshwareshwaro Dharatu. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A little kirtan for a minute, please. Sing kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Iha Sanidehi, Iha Sanidehi, Iha Sanidasva, Iha Sanidasva, Iha Sanito Bhagavati, Sanito Bhavo. So we offering grains with your fingers like this. Looks like a little deer. And you can toss into the fire with the words swaha. So when I say swaha, then you say swaha and place the grains into the fire. And it means Agni is accepting on behalf of the Lord and passing it up to Him as an offering from you, from your heart, and to solemnize the vows that you've made here today and invoke the blessings of the Guru Parampara. And we'll invoke the names of our Vaishnava Acharyas in the presence of the fire and deities and Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. And we'll start with a way that opens the internet to the higher planetary systems. Om Bhu Swaha Idam Vishnave Idam Namama Om Bhuva Swaha Idam Achutaya Idam Namama Om Swaha Idam Narayana Idam Namama Om Bhuva Swaha Idam Anantaya Idam Namama. Now please, I'll say a few words at a time. The Mangalacharana, you can repeat after me. Om Ajnana Tirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha Shri Chaitanya Madhobhishnam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadahmayam Dadati Swa Vedantikam Swaha Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadhutam Vijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Swaha. Now you say the pranam of your individual spiritual masters. Or you first do say your pranams of your Guru Maharaj. Swaha. Pranam of your spiritual master.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Vaisesika Dasa Nama Praharsha Shilaya
Slowly. Swaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Swaha Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Swaha Shri Varshavana Videvi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sanmanda Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Swaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Swaha Namaste Gauravani Shrimurtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viranapa Apasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Swaha Namo Gurakishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Yurtaye Vipralamba Sambode Padambujaya Te Namaha Swaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Swaha Gaura Virbhava Gomestvam Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Swaha Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripasindhu Yevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tushe Namaha Swaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Swaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Swaha Jayatam Surato Pango Mamamanda Atirgati Matsarvaswa Dambojao Radha Madana Mohana Swaha Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadurmada Srimad Ratnagara Sinhasanastao Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Krishtalibi Sevyamano Smarani Swaha Sriman Rasa Rasaramhi Vanshivata Takastitaha Karshanvenu Swaner Gopir Gopinatha Shrestunaha Swaha Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabanu Sute Devi Namami Hari Priye Swaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Swaha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare, Swaha. And now, please carefully stand up. And when you're standing up, you'll want to also have the banana in your hand. So you can either grab it on the way up or after you're already up. And for the swaha, then you'll place the banana carefully in the fire. So you might want to move, if somebody can, Nirkul, if you can help move some of these out of the way. So you can get a little closer. I think that's enough. And does everyone have banana? Ready? Namo Brahmanya Devaya Gogramana Hayacha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Swaha. Om Purnam Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Om mantrahinam krihinam bhaktihinam janardana yat pujitam vayadevam paripurnam tadastu me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.